The provocation. The Galactic Council had always considered humans a curiosity, a species that had achieved faster than light travel with remarkable speed, but remained confined to their solar system and a handful of nearby colonies. Humanity's technological progress was impressive, but not threatening. Their military capabilities were respectable but limited. In the grand hierarchy of the 1,000 species that made up the hegemony, humans were categorized as a Tier 3 civilization, worth monitoring, occasionally worth trading with, but ultimately inconsequential. The Vraxian Empire disagreed. Captain Maya Chen stood on the observation deck of the ESS Defiant, Earth's most advanced warship, as it patrolled the outer boundary of Sol system. At 42, she had spent half her life in Earth's Space Force, rising through the ranks with a reputation for unconventional thinking and decisive action. Her dark eyes scanned the holographic displays floating before her, tracking the movement of civilian ships through the jump gate. Captain, incoming transmission from Earth Command. Her XO, Lieutenant Commander Jackson, announced. Priority Alpha. Maya frowned. Priority Alpha was reserved for imminent threats. Put it through to my ready room. The face of Admiral Helena Oko appeared on her private terminal, her expression grim. Captain Chen, I'm afraid I have grave news. The research station Prometheus has been destroyed. Maya felt her chest tighten. Prometheus was humanity's most advanced research outpost, positioned at the edge of explored space. Casualties. All 347 personnel lost. Admiral Oko replied, her voice tight with controlled emotion. Including your sister, Captain. I'm sorry. The world seemed to slow around Maya. Dr. Lena Chen had been the station's lead xenobiologist. They had spoken just 3 days ago about Lena's latest breakthrough in understanding Vraxian biology. How? Maya managed. The Vraxian Empire has claimed responsibility. They're calling it a preventative security action. According to their statement, Prometheus was developing biological weapons for use against their species. That's absurd, Maya hissed. Lena was researching medical applications of Vraxian cellular regeneration. Her work could have benefited both species. I know, the Admiral said quietly, but the Vraxians have made their position clear. They've issued a formal notice to Earth's government. Cease all research into Vraxian biology, or face further security actions. Maya's grief crystallized into rage. This wasn't a security action. It was a test. They're assessing our response. Admiral Oko nodded slowly. The Security Council is convening in 1 hour. Your ship is being recalled to Earth. We need you there, Maya. Your tactical insight and personal perspective will be valuable. The journey back to Earth was the longest of Maya's career. She spent it reviewing all available intelligence on Vraxian military capabilities, fighting to keep thoughts of her sister at bay with cold, hard data. The Vraxians had emerged as a dominant power in the galaxy over the past century. Their empire spanned hundreds of worlds, their military technology outpacing most other species. They were reptilian in appearance, with an exoskeleton-reinforced physiology that made them naturally resilient. Their society was rigidly hierarchical, with expansion and conquest embedded in their cultural DNA. And now they had Earth in their sights. When Maya arrived at Earth Defense Headquarters in Geneva, the Security Council was already deep in debate. Representatives from Earth's United Nations filled the chamber, their voices rising in discord. The Vraxians have 12 battle fleets, each capable of reducing our major cities to ash. The defense minister was saying as Maya entered. Our entire space force couldn't stop even one of them. So we should simply accept the murder of our people, demanded the representative from the African Union. Allow them to dictate the terms of our existence. Maya took her assigned seat beside Admiral Oko, who leaned over to whisper, They've been at this for hours. Half want to appease the Vraxians, half want to fight, and none have a plan for either. The Secretary General noticed Maya's arrival and gestured to her. Captain Chen, you commanded our response to the Arcturus incident last year. Your insights would be valuable now. All eyes turned to Maya. She rose slowly, her grief and anger carefully contained behind a professional facade. The destruction of Prometheus was not an isolated incident, she began. It was a calculated first move. The Vraxians have been studying us for years. They've monitored our technological progress, our military capabilities, our political responses to crisis. They know exactly how outmatched we are. A murmur ran through the chamber. But they've miscalculated in one critical way, Maya continued. They believe that because we are outmatched, we will submit. They see our relative restraint in galactic affairs as weakness. They don't understand that humans have never accepted subjugation, no matter the odds. What are you suggesting, Captain? The Secretary-General asked. That we launch a suicidal attack against a vastly superior force. Maya shook her head. I'm suggesting we show them exactly who they're dealing with. The Vraxians value strength above all else. If we demonstrate weakness now, they will never stop. But if we strike back, hard and unexpectedly, we force them to reassess. Strike back how? The defense minister scoffed. As I've explained, their military technology outpaces ours in conventional terms. Maya interrupted. But we have advantages they don't know about. Project Nemesis, for one. The chamber fell silent. Project Nemesis was Earth's most closely guarded secret, a weapons system that utilized quantum entanglement to bypass shields and defensive systems. It had been developed after humanity's first, disastrous contact with hostile aliens decades earlier, but had never been deployed in actual combat. Admiral Arco spoke carefully. Nemesis is untested against Vraxian technology, and using it would reveal our most advanced capabilities. My sister and 346 others are dead, Maya said, her voice steady but intense. The Vraxians expect us to either launch a conventional attack they can easily repel or cower and accept their terms. I propose a third option, a targeted strike against their forward command post in the Eridani system. Not their homeworld, not a civilian target, but a military installation of high value. We use Nemesis, we strike fast, and we demonstrate that humans are not to be underestimated. The debate raged for hours afterward. Maya presented tactical scenarios, risk assessments, and ultimately, a detailed strike plan. By the end of the session, a narrow majority voted to approve her proposal. As the council adjourned, Admiral Oko pulled Maya aside. Are you certain about this, Captain? Once we cross this line, there's no going back. Maya thought of her sister, brilliant, kind-hearted Lena, who had only wanted to heal, not harm. They crossed the line first, Admiral. Now they need to learn what that means when dealing with humanity. Preparations began immediately. The ESS Defiant was equipped with the Nemesis system, its crew briefed on the unprecedented mission. 4 additional warships would accompany them, providing conventional support and, if necessary, covering fire for a retreat. Standing on the bridge of the Defiant as it prepared to depart Earth orbit, Maya addressed her crew. What we do today will echo through human history. The Vraxians believe they can intimidate us into submission. They believe we will accept the murder of our people rather than risk confrontation with a superior force. She paused, meeting the eyes of her officers one by one. They're about to learn how badly they've misjudged us. The small fleet jumped away from Earth, heading toward a confrontation that would either establish humanity's place among the stars or lead to their subjugation. Either way, the galaxy was about to learn exactly what humans were capable of when pushed too far. The Reckoning. The Eridani system was the crown jewel of the Vraxian Empire's expansion into human-adjacent space. Its central military installation, a massive structure that combined shipyard, command center, and forward operating base, orbited the system's gas giant. From this position, the Vraxians controlled trade routes and monitored the movements of a dozen species, including humans. They never expected to be attacked. Maya stood on the bridge of the Defiant as the fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the system. "Status report," she ordered calmly. No signs of alarm. Her tactical officer responded. Their defensive grid is its standard configuration. They haven't detected us yet. Maya nodded. The fleet was using a new stealth technology, another closely guarded human development. It wouldn't keep them hidden for long, but it had given them the critical element of surprise. All ships maintain stealth protocols and advance to position Alpha. Maya commanded. Weapons systems on standby. Nemesis initialization sequence beginning. Deep in the Defiant's core, the quantum entanglement drive that powered the Nemesis system hummed to life. Unlike conventional weapons, Nemesis didn't fire projectiles or energy beams. Instead, it created a quantum link with its target, then induced a controlled energy cascade directly within the target's systems. No shields could stop it because it didn't cross the space between ships. It simply appeared within the target, as if it had always been there. Captain, Vraxian patrol vessels are changing course, her sensor officer reported suddenly. They might have detected something. Maya tensed. Time to Nemesis readiness. 3 minutes, Captain. Too long. They needed to act now. All ships, execute maneuver Theta. Draw their attention away from the command base. The supporting vessels broke formation, accelerating toward the patrol ships with weapons systems powering up. It was a calculated risk, revealing their presence but diverting Vraxian attention from the real target. The response was immediate. Alarm signals flashed across the Vraxian network as their patrol ships detected the incoming human vessels. The massive command base began powering up its defensive systems, shields forming a shimmering barrier around the structure. Nemesis at 85% readiness, her weapons officer reported. The Vraxians are scrambling fighters. Their battlecruiser is moving to intercept. Steady, Maya commanded. Maintain course for the command base. Supporting vessels, engage the patrol ships, but do not, repeat, do not engage the battlecruiser. The space around them erupted in weapons fire as the human support ships engaged the Vraxian patrols. The Defiant pushed forward, still partially masked by stealth technology, heading directly for the command base. Nemesis ready, Captain, the weapons officer announced. Target the command-based primary power core, Maya ordered. Fire when ready. There was no visible beam, no projectile streaking through space. One moment the Vraxian command base was intact, its shields glowing with power. The next, a catastrophic eruption burst from within its central core. The quantum cascade tore through its power systems, creating a chain reaction that rippled outward. Direct hit, the tactical officer confirmed, voice tight with controlled excitement. Their primary and secondary power systems are failing. Internal explosions detected throughout the structure. Before Maya could respond, proximity alarms blared across the bridge. Vraxian battlecruiser incoming. They've detected us and are moving to intercept. The battlecruiser was massive, easily 3 times the size of the Defiant. Its weapons systems were powering up, targeting locks attempting to fix on the human ships. Nemesis status, Maya demanded. Recharging. Minimum 20 minutes before we can fire again. Maya's mind raced through options. Their conventional weapons wouldn't penetrate the battlecruiser's shields. Running wasn't an option. The Vraxian ship was faster. They needed something unexpected. Helm, set course directly for the battlecruiser, maximum speed, she ordered. Her bridge crew stared at her in shock. Captain, her XO questioned. You heard me. Full speed. Direct intercept course. The Defiant surged forward, its engines straining as it accelerated toward the much larger enemy vessel. On the Vraxian ship, the move clearly caused confusion. Their targeting systems hesitated, their trajectory wavered slightly. They think we're attempting a suicide run, Maya explained to her crew. They don't know what to make of it. As the distance closed rapidly, Maya gave her next order. Deploy gravity mines. Proximity pattern Omega, then execute emergency jump to coordinates Beta 7. The Defiant released a cluster of small, innocuous-looking devices directly in its wake. Then its jump drives engaged in a blindingly fast sequence. The ship disappeared from normal space just as the battlecruiser moved to fire, and found itself suddenly surrounded by the gravity mines. The mines activated simultaneously, creating overlapping fields of distorted spacetime. The battlecruiser, caught in the conflicting gravitational forces, began to twist as different sections of its massive hull experienced different gravitational pulls. Stress fractures appeared along its length as its structural integrity failed under the impossible forces. The Defiant reappeared from its micro-jump behind the struggling battlecruiser. "All conventional weapons, target their engine section," Maya ordered. "Fire." The combined firepower of the Defiant's conventional weapons struck the battlecruiser's engines precisely where the gravity distortions had weakened its shields. The resulting explosion tore through the rear third of the massive ship, leaving it crippled and adrift. "Status of our support vessels," Maya demanded. "The Intrepid and Valiant have sustained damage but remain operational. The Dauntless and Resolute report minor injuries, but no significant damage. All Vraxian patrol ships have been neutralized." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "Signal all ships. Mission accomplished. Set course for Rendezvous Point Delta for jump back to Earth space." As the human fleet regrouped and prepared to depart, long-range sensors detected a new development. A transmission was broadcasting from the damaged command base, directed not at the human ships, but at the Vraxian homeworld. Maya ordered it intercepted and translated. When the translation appeared on her screen, her smile widened slightly. "The humans have demonstrated unexpected capabilities and tactical innovation. The Eridani forward base has been severely damaged by weapons technology unknown to our intelligence division. Recommend immediate reassessment of human threat classification and suspension of Operation Solar Subjugation, pending full strategic review." In the days that followed, as the human fleet returned to Earth space, the Vraxian Empire maintained an unusual silence. No further attacks were launched against human outposts. No ultimatums were issued. Intelligence reports indicated intense activity within their military command structure and unprecedented emergency sessions of their ruling council. 2 weeks after the Eridani strike, a formal communication arrived from the Vraxian High Command addressed to Earth's Security Council. Maya was present when it was received and translated. "The regrettable incident at Research Station Prometheus resulted from flawed intelligence and unauthorized action by regional commanders. The Vraxian Empire extends formal acknowledgement of error and proposes establishment of diplomatic channels to prevent future misunderstandings. We recognize the human species as possessing significant capabilities worthy of mutual respect." It wasn't an apology. The Vraxians were incapable of such a concept. But it was recognition. And for now, that was enough. In the memorial service for the victims of Prometheus Station, Maya stood before a holographic image of her sister Lena as she addressed the gathered mourners. "The Vraxians thought they could intimidate us into submission. They believed that because we were smaller, because we controlled fewer worlds, because our fleets were less numerous, we would accept their dominance without question. They saw our desire for peaceful coexistence as weakness." She paused, looking at the faces of the families who had lost loved ones. They were wrong. Humanity has never bowed to threats, no matter the odds. We have shown the galaxy that we will defend our people, our principles, and our right to exist as equals among the stars. The price was high, too high, but because of that sacrifice, humanity now stands recognized as a force to be reckoned with. As Maya finished speaking, news arrived that the Galactic Council had officially upgraded Earth's classification from Tier 3 to Tier 1. A civilization with significant military capabilities and technological innovation, worthy of full diplomatic recognition and non-interference protocols. The message was clear throughout the galaxy: underestimate humans at your peril. They may be newcomers to interstellar politics, they may control only a handful of worlds, but when provoked, when their people are threatened, Earth answers with fire. The Vraxian Empire had crossed a line, and in doing so, had awakened a power they never anticipated. The age of human expansion among the stars had truly begun.